Since we started this collaboration between the Madras Diabetes Research Foundation and the Deakin University at Melbourne in Australia, and it's my great pleasure to invite three of the guests who are on the dais: Professor Catherine Aston-Mornay, Professor Stefan Ushusha, and Dr. Lenny Rivera, along with Ms. Gayatri Vedanarayan, who represents them Deakin in India. We also have online, and he'll join us in a moment, in a few moments, Professor David Austin, who is the Associate Dean, International Faculty of Health. Actually, Professor David Austin and Professor Catherine Bennett, who is also Professor and Chair in Epidemiology in Faculty of Health, are also part virus, and so they are not coming, but Professor David Austin, they are both in Chennai actually, so Professor David Austin will join us in a few minutes online. So it gives me great pleasure to invite to welcome the visiting team from Deakin. They represent various fields, and some of them are already guides for the PhD program, and Professor Ushusha is the associate with the School of Nursing and Midwifery, and we run a course. What I'll do is I will make a brief presentation about what we have done during the last 10 years. So if I can have the university first approached us and said Chennai can get a PhD from Australia, from one of the top universities in Australia. Many of our students have wanted to do PhD abroad, but the problem is that it's so expensive that only the creme de la creme, the richest people, can actually afford to pay the lakhs of rupees which are needed per year as fees to do their PhD, which meant that Indian students normally don't go to UK or Australia or US to do a very forward thinking. So they came up with a scheme whereby they had put away a fund for Indian students, not just in MDRF but in other collaborating institutions in India with whom they work, whereby the students can do their PhD in the host institution with supervisors from Deakin in Melbourne, and they have frequent contacts with them through Zoom and other things. So every month almost they are in touch. It's a very rigorous program, by the way. You have to go through a certificate of confirmation, the COC we call it, and then only the student can actually write the theses. And I'm very happy to say that we are one of the institutions with whom this collaboration has really picked up and become quite popular. And this later led on to another program which I'll talk about. So from December 2013 was the time when we started, and the idea was to take up collaborative research. And so you may say, so what's in it for Australia? They are also collaborating in our research. So apart from the PhD that they give, the students publish papers, which I'll show you, which is all done jointly. So it helps them to understand more about the problems of a developing country like India, and we get the benefit of the knowledge and the advice of the supervisors in Australia. So it's worked out beautifully, the partnership. And the idea is to also apply for some further research funding and so on. 6 months is also, so you may say to the students, go to Australia. So that is actually given usually during the last year of their PhD, when it's not compulsory, but Deakin offers as part of the scholarship a fund for students to go and spend between 3 to 6 months in Australia with the supervisors. So during that time, they can learn new techniques, learn statistical analysis, and many of the students use that opportunity to write their theses, because by that time they would have collected most of the data, and they are getting ready to submit their theses. and then they, with the help of the supervisors there and statistical help, the library facilities and everything. So it's been a wonderful journey for the last 10 years, and many students have already completed, as I'll show you. So these are some of the supervisors from Deakin. So we had Professor David Austin, who will join us shortly through Zoom. Then we had Professor Stephen Aranda. Then we had Professor Jan Gilbert, Professor Antonina, Professor David Meller, who has since retired. In fact, it was Professor Meller who first came and started the program with us. And then we have Professor Catherine here. Then we have Professor Anna Tempero and Professor Joe Salmon. So these are 8 of the Australian professors in various fields who have been supervising our students. And we have some more. We have Professor Vincent Versace, Dr. Eric Martin, Professor Joanne Williams, Professor Jenny Veitch, Professor Kevin McNamara, Professor Catherine Bennett, who has also come to India, and Professor David Dunstan, who has recently will be joined in the group, and he will be also looking after one of our students. So you can see it's a fairly large number of professors who have invested their time and interest in this project. I'm very, very grateful to them. Please give them a round of applause. Purely voluntary. One of our first students was Dr. Avishmala Kingsley, and this was a research project. Very interesting that she worked on the built environment and how, if you have walkable areas, how it affects obesity rates and so on. That was her thesis. She has already been awarded the thesis. Dr. Shruti Muralidharan worked on mobile health applications, so how M-Health can be used to reach people, and she has found, we call it as MDRF, and it's a lifestyle intervention delivered through mobile phone. She has also been awarded her PhD. Dr. Avinash Soundarajan worked on a very interesting thing. He worked on bisphenols and how they had their endocrine disruptors, and he worked with Dr. Jan Gilbert, and he has also been awarded his PhD. Dr. Aarti Ramasamy is here, and she is a medical doctor who has been working on a monogenic form of diabetes called maturity onset diabetes of the young, and Catherine here is been associated with that project, and she's in the last stages of completing her thesis. Hopefully she'll be done quite soon. Hannah Wesley is also here, and she is today the Mr. Ceremonies for today. So she is working on gestational diabetes. You can see how diverse it is. Gestational diabetes to monogenic diabetes to M-Health to environment to pollution to endocrine disruptors, wide variety of topics. And she has also done very well. She's got a few publications, and she is also about to submit her thesis. Then we have Dr. Abhinav, who is a dental surgeon, who came with his project, and he's can stand up, Abhinav. So he's there at the back, and so he came up with a topic. This topic is chosen by him. He said, I think that there's a relationship between oral cancer and diabetes. I had not even thought about it, that such a thing was even possible. And he has done some outstanding work, which has led to already a couple of publications and 2 or 3 publications, and he is writing up some more. So he's also in the virtually ready to submit his thesis anytime. And the last is the Sairaj. Sairaj is here? There's Sairaj. So Sairaj is our latest student who has just got his, just been enrolled, and he is going to work on the trends in cardiometabolic risk factors in urban India. What's happened over 25 years in epidemiological study. This is actually a collaboration with UK, which he will be taking up, and Dr. Anjana and others will be helping him in this. He is just enrolled for this. We have some more. Dr. Umaram has shown some interest working on GDM this evening. She will be coming and making a presentation. So it is, as you can see, it's quite popular, and it's really opened up a new avenue for students in India to get a foreign PhD, which kind of a dream for people. Very grateful. And this has been quite productive. As you can see, the number of publications which have come out, joint Indo-Australian publications, we have, I think, 13 or so, 13 or 15, 13 publications which have come. Now, apart from just the PhDs, we've also had symposia. Some of them in person, when like the group which has come this time, the professors from Deakin have come here, and in this very hall we have had some workshops. Even others from outside, other than MDRF, have come and attended. Some have been through Zoom. So this is the first one which we held in 2017 on Symposium on Frontiers in Global Health. Deakin and his partners in India. They can see the group which was held here, and it was a 2-day workshop. Then we had another one on diabetes research, a fertile field with numerous opportunities, on 15th of March 2019, before the COVID hit us. Then we had a Tandav workshop at Deakin University in December 2019. Tandav is high intensity interval training, and Dr. Anjana's work and Ranjini, they worked on this. And Anju, you're going to talk from here? Yeah? Sure.
So there are many other collaborations that are coming up between. Future will be about strengthening the research, strengthening the education side, looking at various methodology workshops, seminars, short-term research projects which can be done here and in Australia as well, and other job-oriented and skill development courses that will be useful for people in both countries. Also, the new kid on the block is AI and machine learning, so we're hoping that towards big data, machine learning, we will be able to mutually come up with something. Thank you very much. May I now request Dr. Mohan to felicitate Professor Stephen Joshua. Now I request Dr. R.M. Anjana to felicitate Dr. Randy Devara, Dr. Mohan to give the moment.
அண்ணா போயிட்டு